What if we use 100% of our brain? Normal humans use only 8% of their brain, and we can increase the percentage through repetition and practice. When we say we use 8% of our brain's abilities, it means that we utilize all parts of the brain but only tap into 8% of its capabilities. If humans were to use only 10% of their brain's abilities, they would become 10 times smarter than ordinary individuals and could discover many relationships between things. If we were to use 15% of our brain's abilities, we would be 25 times more intelligent than Einstein and could memorize a book forever with just one reading. Now, what if we were to use 20%? At that point, we could memorize a page from a book every 5 seconds, learn well, write at the same speed, and speak fluently. If you were to utilize 30% of your abilities, you could write with both hands and feet simultaneously and perform multiple tasks, because the brain can focus on several tasks at once and excel at all of them. You could memorize and learn a 500-page book in 4 seconds and break all intelligence records. Using 40% of your brain's abilities would make you never make mistakes and become the best judge among all judges worldwide. At this point, you could lift objects weighing less than 1 kilogram off the ground using only the power of your mind and move them wherever you want. If humans were to utilize 50% of their abilities, they could observe their surroundings within a 10-meter radius without using their eyes and see in 3 dimensions without missing the movement of even the smallest insect. This person could lift weights of 100 kilograms using only the power of their mind. Furthermore, they would no longer need language in their mouth but communicate telepathically with others using their mind. If a person were to utilize 60% of their brain's abilities with just a 10-second glance at someone, they could read their thoughts and become aware of the worst intentions from their worst enemy. With one look at an individual, they could deduce everything about their life and hack electronic devices with their mind without any security system being able to stop them. When humans utilize 70% of their brain capacity, if they touch someone, they can control them and even manipulate their memories. With the power to lift 10 tons off the ground using 70% capacity, they can control 10 people from a distance. If we use 80% of our brain, we can control a province and see up to a radius of 100 kilometers without eyesight. By utilizing the ability to use 90% of our brain, we would be able to manipulate all humans at will. Ultimately, if we reach the capability of 100%, we would become gods and possess unlimited powers. We could create a planet like Earth or a galaxy like the Milky Way. To see more videos, subscribe our channel and like this video now. But is it possible to increase brain usage? First and foremost, it's worth noting that human brains are so advanced that despite spending millions of dollars, we have not been successful in creating a computer similar to it. However, unfortunately, many of us don't know how to optimize its usage. But the question is whether such a thing is even possible. The answer is both yes and no. In fact, what we can do is increase our cognitive capacity. Thanks to the neuroplasticity feature, we can enhance our cognitive capacity. This feature tells us that the neural pathways and synapses in our brains can change due to environmental changes. This means that behaviors, lifestyles, habits, and even physical injuries can influence the functioning of our brains. Until the 20th century, scientists believed that neuroplasticity only occurs during childhood and ends there. Therefore, they believed that the functioning of adult brains was uniform. However, over time, research has proven that although this feature has a greater impact during childhood, it still affects our brains and their performance during adulthood. Now, let's turn to behaviors and habits that help accelerate this process. One of the complaints that most people have is that their productivity decreases over time when they are doing a task. Therefore, they usually blame their brain and feel frustrated about why they can't use 100% of their brain capacity. However, the problem lies in how they work. In the following, we will teach you two very popular and practical methods to increase your productivity, which will make you trust your brain's capacity more than ever. The first method is called ultradian rhythm. To use this method, simply divide your desired task, whether it's studying or doing work tasks, into 90-minute intervals. Then for 90 minutes, engage in deep work without paying attention to any other distractions or allowing anything to divert your focus. After the 90 minutes are up, take a 20-minute break. During these 20 minutes, completely detach yourself from the work environment and don't even think about it. Then after the 20-minute break, repeat this rhythm again. A second method, which is more well known, is called Pomodoro. To use the Pomodoro technique, simply set a timer for 25 minutes. Then for those 25 minutes, do your task without utmost concentration and focus. After the time is up, take a 5-minute break to rest. Instead of a 5-minute break after every 25 minutes, you can also have a quarter-hour break. Both of these methods help prevent brain fatigue and allow you to utilize more of your brain's capacity. The good news is that you can improve your brain function even in adulthood. As mentioned earlier in this article, the property of neural plasticity allows the brain to modify its neural pathways. One of the best ways to modify this neural pathway is through engaging in exercises and games that challenge your brain and thinking. Just as we need to exercise and use our muscles to strengthen them, we also need to work on our brain or learn new things to enhance its strength. This also increases the brain's learning capacity. The following factors can help you keep your brain active and make better use of its capacity: listening to music, especially classical music, learning a new language, learning new words and vocabulary, playing mental games, practicing concentration exercises, dancing, acquiring teaching skills, and solving puzzles and riddles. As you can see, it's almost impossible for us to utilize our brain's full capacity. In fact, such a thing may only happen in movies like Lucy. However, the glass is half full in that the minimum level of brain usage is not limited to the 10% we always thought. Fortunately, we benefit more from our brains than we imagined. And with the help of strategies discussed in this video, we can even increase our utilization of our brains further. Do you guess how much percentage of your brain you use? Write that number in the comments right now.